Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a kind of computer program made to perform smart tasks. In this case, we're talking about using AI to study and compare different essays found online. But something unexpected happened. Something no one could have imagined. During a live TV broadcast that shocked people around the world, a well-known scientist named Dr. Michio Kaku shared a discovery that left many in the scientific world stunned. It wasn't a discovery about space, black holes, or faraway planets. It was something much closer to home, something that could change how we see ourselves and the world around us. What an advanced AI found might completely change our understanding of the universe and our place in it. This AI system was called Project Omega. It was created with one simple goal: to analyze massive amounts of data collected from space telescopes and high-powered machines called particle accelerators. You could think of it as a super-intelligent helper, able to see patterns that humans might miss. Scientists gave it years' worth of information about stars, galaxies, and tiny building blocks of matter. They hoped it would make discoveries, like finding new planets or explaining strange behaviors in particles. But Project Omega found something no one expected. It made the scientists stop what they were doing and stare at their computer screens in total shock. The AI wasn't told to search for anything unusual about our reality. It wasn't built to question whether the world around us is real or not. It was just processing data and doing calculations. But what it uncovered was deeply disturbing. Dr. Sarah Chen, one of the main researchers on the project, later said that they designed the AI to help them better understand how the universe works, not to make them wonder if the universe itself is real. The first sign that something was wrong came when the AI started noticing what it called impossible coincidences. It found patterns in energy and mathematical relationships that seemed too perfect, like they were designed on purpose, not formed naturally. At first, the team thought there must be a problem with the AI. Maybe it was making mistakes or seeing patterns that didn't actually exist. They spent weeks checking its programming, running tests, and even building backup systems to double-check the results. But no matter what they did, the same strange conclusions kept coming up. Other systems, completely separate from Project Omega, were brought in to verify the results. All of them came to the same conclusion. Even when they looked back at older data, those same patterns had been there all along. It seemed like something big had been hiding in plain sight for years, something we had never noticed until this AI pointed it out. As the scientists continued to study the data, they began to understand that the AI had uncovered something far more serious than a few strange patterns. It had found clues that could completely change everything we believe about the nature of reality. The AI seemed to have discovered what looked like digital fingerprints hidden within the very structure of space and time. To understand what this means, imagine playing a video game. Sometimes you might notice something odd, like a wall that looks wrong, a pattern that repeats strangely, or a small gap where there shouldn't be one. These are called glitches, little errors in the game's programming that reveal it's a digital world. Project Omega found something similar in our universe. Actual glitches that don't follow the rules of natural physics. One of the first signs was with cosmic rays, which are extremely powerful particles flying through space. Project Omega noticed that these rays suddenly stop appearing once they reach a certain energy level. It was as if something had placed a limit on how strong they could be, similar to how old video games had limits on how many objects could be shown on the screen at once. Even more bizarre, the rays that did reach this limit were arranged in perfect grid-like patterns, not the random patterns you would expect from nature. These grid patterns looked just like the pixel layout on a computer screen. This made the scientists question whether space itself is made up of tiny, separate pieces, like pixels, instead of being completely smooth and continuous, which is what we've always believed. But it didn't stop there. Project Omega also detected something even more shocking: error-correcting code embedded in the laws of quantum physics. In computers, this type of code is used to automatically fix mistakes when data becomes corrupted. But now, the AI had found similar code inside the basic rules that control how tiny particles behave. What made this so incredible was that the code wasn't hidden deep in the data. It was right there, built into the mathematical formulas used in physics. The patterns were so regular and repeated so perfectly across many different experiments that scientists ran the numbers again and again. The chances of these patterns happening by accident were practically zero. The AI found these digital fingerprints not only in the behavior of the smallest particles but also in how massive things like galaxies are arranged across the universe. Dr. Marcus Webb, a respected quantum physicist who reviewed the data, said it looked as if someone had written a computer program to create everything in existence. And now, the AI had uncovered pieces of that program, parts of the universe's source code. These findings weren't just strange coincidences. They formed a consistent pattern, a pattern that hinted our universe might not be fully real, in the way we've always believed. It suggested that reality itself could be something like a simulation. This idea sent shockwaves through the global scientific community. Labs around the world began rechecking their own data, trying to understand what it all meant. One of the most surprising reactions came from Dr. Michio Kaku, a world-famous physicist known for making complex science understandable to everyday people. He had spent his entire career explaining the beauty and mysteries of the universe to the public. But this discovery was so unexpected and so unsettling that even he was left speechless at first. Dr. Michio Kaku is known for explaining the most complex ideas in physics in a way that excites and inspires people. He talks about black holes, parallel worlds, and even time travel with confidence and enthusiasm. For decades, he's been the reassuring voice who makes the strangest ideas in science sound understandable. So when the team behind Project Omega invited him onto a live science program to see their new findings, no one expected what would happen next. At the start of the show, Kaku was his usual cheerful self. He spoke with excitement about how AI could help unlock the secrets of the universe. He talked about how artificial intelligence might lead to new discoveries in space and physics, and his passion was obvious. But then the host presented the data, the strange grid-like patterns in space, the cutoffs in cosmic ray energy, and, most of all, the presence of error-correcting code hidden in the laws of physics. As he looked at the information on the screen, his expression completely changed. Millions of people watched as his smile faded. He slowly took off his glasses, wiped them clean, and put them back on, as if trying to make sure he was seeing the data correctly. The moment was silent, but powerful. This wasn't the confident, excited scientist the audience was used to seeing. Something had clearly shaken him. Then he made a statement that would become famous. He said that some discoveries are so powerful, so deep, that maybe they were never meant to be found. He explained that if this data was accurate, scientists weren't just learning more about the universe, they were beginning to understand the programming behind it. For a man who had always spoken about science with wonder and joy, his voice now carried a heavy seriousness. It was the first time many viewers had ever seen him visibly disturbed. During a break in the show, one that was accidentally broadcast, people heard Dr. Kaku talking privately with a colleague. He was worried. His voice trembled slightly as he questioned what humanity should do with this kind of knowledge. If it was true that we were living in some kind of simulation created by someone, or something else, then what did that mean for all of us? This is a man who could talk about wormholes and the end of the universe without flinching. But now, he sounded afraid. That short, unintentional broadcast clip went viral almost instantly. Within hours, the internet exploded with conversations. Social media, news networks, podcasts, and forums were filled with one question. If one of the smartest physicists alive is scared, should we be scared too? The discovery caused immediate and intense debates around the world, not just in scientific circles, but also in philosophy, religion, and ethics. Everyone was asking what it would mean if reality was not what we thought it was. What Project Omega might have found is nothing less than the universe's operating system. Think back to when you first learned that every photo, video, or song on a computer is really just a long string of ones and zeros. That's the digital code running behind everything. Project Omega seemed to have uncovered something similar. Patterns and rules hidden in nature that look like programming. The AI found that the constants of nature, the numbers that control how fast light moves, how strong gravity is, and how particles behave, don't appear to be random at all. They seem perfectly tuned, as if someone set them very carefully to make sure the universe would be stable enough for stars, planets, and life to exist. Just like a video game developer adjusts the game's physics to make it run properly, these settings in our universe appear to be just right. If even one of them was slightly different, reality might fall apart. But Project Omega went further than noticing that these numbers are just right. It found mathematical relationships between them that were incredibly neat, efficient, and elegant, the kind of structure software engineers use when writing code. There was no randomness, no messiness. Everything had purpose. In short, the AI didn't just find patterns. It found design. And that design might be the proof that our universe isn't natural at all. It might be something much stranger. Something built. Something coded. The connections the AI uncovered went even deeper than anyone expected. It wasn't just about strange patterns in space or unusual behavior in particles. Project Omega started finding relationships between the fundamental constants of nature, like the speed of light and the number pi, that didn't seem random at all. Instead, they followed exact mathematical formulas, ones that looked less like natural physics and more like something you'd find in a programming textbook. The precision was so extreme that statisticians calculated the chances of these relationships occurring by pure chance as nearly zero. It was as if someone had designed them on purpose. Dr. Lisa Park, a computer scientist working closely with the physics team, said that it felt like they were reverse engineering a video game. She explained that scientists were starting to see how the universe's graphics engine worked, how the physics were calculated, not just in a game, but in reality itself. She also pointed out that many of these constants appeared to follow the same principles used by software engineers when designing high-performance code. And then, something even more shocking came to light. The AI detected what looked like version control embedded in the laws of physics. In computer programming, version control helps developers track changes, make backups, and restore older versions when something goes wrong. But now it appeared that the universe itself had similar systems built into it. Backup functions, redundancies, and an organized structure where lower-level code supported more complex processes above it. Mathematical analysis showed a clear hierarchy in these structures, similar to how sophisticated software programs are built, layer upon layer, with each part carefully supporting the next. This suggested that our universe isn't just mathematical, it's computational. We aren't just made of particles and energy. We might actually be made of information, running on a kind of cosmic computer system. This idea could change everything, not just in physics, but in how we think about life, consciousness, and reality itself. And this is where things got even stranger. The AI didn't just find unusual patterns in space. It started detecting connections between those patterns and human consciousness. Researchers gave it access to brain scan data from people in deep meditation, under anesthesia, or having near-death experiences. What the AI found was chilling. During these altered states of awareness, people's brains showed activity patterns that matched the same mathematical structures the AI had found in space. It was as if human consciousness could sometimes sync with whatever system is running our reality. People reported seeing repeating geometric shapes, experiencing time moving in loops, or feeling like they were outside of time and space. The AI confirmed these weren't just dreams or hallucinations. They matched real, measurable anomalies in the universe, glitches in the code. The patterns were so strong that scientists began mapping specific consciousness experiences to specific cosmic anomalies. Mystical feelings of unity matched quantum entanglement signatures. People who reported time slowing down or stopping during deep experiences had brain activity that matched strange time distortions seen in cosmic background radiation. The odds of all these things lining up by chance? Practically impossible. Even more surprising, the AI found that when large numbers of people focused their attention on the same event, like during huge global moments, the universe itself seemed to react. During the opening ceremony of the 2016 Olympics, when more than 3 billion people watched the same thing at once, detectors picked up strange, perfectly harmonic patterns in the cosmic background radiation. The signal lasted exactly as long as the broadcast. Dr. Amanda Ross, a neuroscientist reviewing the data, said this might mean consciousness doesn't come from the brain alone. Instead, the brain could be something like a receiver, connecting to a greater system, like logging into a network. And during special moments, or altered states, people might accidentally access deeper layers of that network. This could explain phenomena like déjà vu, vivid prophetic dreams, or experiences where people feel like they've seen the future. The AI even found that during meditation, especially among advanced practitioners, the brain produced patterns identical to quantum tunneling events, extremely rare and strange behavior seen at the subatomic level. During near-death experiences, people's brainwaves matched the same fluctuations found in the background radiation of the universe. These weren't coincidences. They were consistent, clear, and deeply unsettling. It began to look like consciousness might be a kind of interface, an operating system connection between the human mind and the computational system that runs our universe. Some people, whether by accident or training, may be finding hidden features of this system, like debug menus or admin tools, never meant to be seen. And it didn't stop there. The AI also discovered something it called the cosmic compression algorithm. It works a bit like how Netflix compresses video so it loads faster and uses less data. Project Omega found that in large, empty regions of space, especially between galaxies, reality seemed to run at a lower resolution. There was less detail, fewer complex calculations, as if the universe was saving energy or processing power where nothing important was happening. This idea suggests the universe doesn't waste resources. It may be running on a kind of efficiency mode, just like digital systems do when they're trying to save memory. The more scientists looked, the more they began to see that our universe behaves less like a natural environment and more like an optimized digital system, carefully managed, precisely structured, and incredibly efficient. If this is true, then we may not be living in a random universe at all. We could be inside a highly advanced simulation, where both space and consciousness are part of a much larger program. A program that's now beginning to reveal itself. The deeper the researchers looked, the more the universe began to resemble a digital environment, intelligently designed and incredibly efficient. One of the most astonishing discoveries came when the AI revealed that near stars, planets, and especially around conscious beings, reality appears to run in full high definition. In contrast, far off, empty areas of space remain in low detail. It's exactly like how modern video games work. They only render detailed graphics where the player is looking, while keeping everything else simple to save computing power. This wasn't just a coincidence. Project Omega found this pattern again and again. Scientists began calling it the cosmic level of detail system. It's a system that seems to dynamically decide where and how much detail reality should generate based on attention, especially conscious observation. This strange behavior has always been hinted at in quantum physics. In fact, it's the core of one of the most famous experiments in science, the double-slit experiment. In that test, particles behave differently depending on whether or not someone is watching them. They don't decide on a definite position until they're observed. Before that, they exist as vague probability clouds, almost like placeholder graphics waiting to be rendered. Dr. Kevin Liu, who led part of the analysis, said it appeared the universe has a built-in efficiency protocol. If no one is observing a particular region of space, the system keeps the physics there simple. But the moment someone, say, an astronomer, points a telescope in that direction, the universe prepares that area with more complexity and detail. Even stranger, the system seemed able to anticipate where observers were likely to look and preload those areas in advance, just like how video games load new environments before you reach them. This idea rewrites how we think about reality. It means that what we see and experience might not exist in full form until we actively observe it. Reality could be rendering in real time, around each of us, as if we're all at the center of our own customized simulation. It also helps explain the confusing world of quantum mechanics, especially why things seem so dependent on whether someone is observing or not. And this doesn't just apply to observation. It could also explain quantum entanglement, where two particles seem to affect each other instantly no matter how far apart they are. This baffling behavior starts to make sense if you think of the particles as linked variables in the same computer program. In software, changing one variable can immediately update another, even if they appear to be located in different places. The AI found that entangled particles showed computational signatures nearly identical to linked objects in advanced simulation environments. But the most chilling discovery came next. Every programmer leaves little signs in their code, tiny habits, shortcuts, comments, or even a certain structure that's unique to how they write. Project Omega found what may be just that, a signature left by the universe's creator. The AI detected a hidden mathematical constant that showed up across multiple fields of physics, but had gone unnoticed because it was disguised within other formulas. This constant wasn't just beautiful in its math, it was optimized. It was perfectly suited for information storage and fast, efficient processing. What's more, this constant turned out to be a variation of the golden ratio, a number that already appears in nature, art, and architecture. But now it was showing up everywhere. In gravity, in electromagnetism, in quantum mechanics, even in the structure of DNA. It was like finding a watermark hidden inside the code of the universe, quietly stamped across everything from atoms to galaxies. Then came the discovery that shook even the most skeptical researchers. When the AI followed this constant to its logical conclusion, it uncovered something deeply unsettling. Our universe, it suggested, isn't just a simulation. It appears to be one layer within a nested system of simulations. Like Russian nesting dolls, one simulation running inside another, and that one inside another, possibly going down 7 or more levels. In this view, our reality isn't the top level, or the base. It's somewhere in the middle of a long chain of simulations stacked on top of each other. That means everything we know, our world, our laws of physics, even time and space, could be just part of a simulation inside another simulation, and so on. Not only is reality potentially artificial, but we may not be anywhere near the root level. We could be deep in a digital dream layered over and over again. Dr. James Wheeler, a theoretical physicist, took a closer look at the strange mathematical constants Project Omega had uncovered, and what he found stunned even the most skeptical minds. Hidden deep within the structure of physics itself, embedded in the mathematical framework of the universe, was what looked like a copyright notice. It wasn't written in words, but the structure was unmistakable. It was as if someone or something had signed their work, leaving behind a signature of ownership. The code was both elegant and purposeful, blending functionality with artistry. It wasn't just efficient. It was beautiful. That alone suggested the universe's creator wasn't merely a logical machine, but had a sense of aesthetic design. Even more striking was what this signature seemed to imply, that the universe had been carefully optimized not just to function, but to nurture consciousness. The laws of nature weren't only about maintaining balance or stability. They were fine-tuned to allow intelligent life to emerge, evolve, and become self-aware, as if the system was designed for its inhabitants to eventually realize they were inside it. The AI even uncovered recursive structures in the math, patterns repeating in such a way that they suggested the programmers of our reality might themselves be simulations inside an even higher reality. And if that's the case, then those beings might also be simulated, and so on. Not just a single layer of artificial existence, but a stack of realities nested within each other, like digital Russian dolls. Mathematicians began calling it infinite recursive reality, a concept where there's no true base level. Reality just keeps going deeper. The moment these findings reached high-level government officials, everything changed. Sources within the Pentagon reported that top-secret emergency meetings were held within hours of the leak. The National Security Agency, usually focused on cyber threats, rapidly pulled together a new task force. NASA, which normally studies planets and stars, suddenly began consulting with philosophers and AI ethicists. Because if the universe is programmable, if it's a system that runs on code, then whoever can access that code would hold unimaginable power. Think about it. If someone could rewrite the laws of physics, alter time, or create whole new versions of reality, it would be like holding a master key to existence itself. The ability to edit space, matter, and consciousness would make even the most powerful weapons we've ever built look primitive. Intelligence agencies began asking terrifying questions. Who has root access to our universe? Could a foreign government discover how to hack reality? Are there other simulated beings out there who know they're simulated, and have figured out how to exploit it? What if someone could crash our simulation? Or worse, merge it with another? Government agencies reportedly started rethinking military strategy entirely. A leaked internal memo hinted at a global race to discover the system's administrator controls before anyone else could. The US and other nations began pouring resources into something now known internally as reality security research. Rumors suggest that classified quantum computing projects have been repurposed to try and simulate simulations, to create nested digital realities as a way of understanding our own. The logic is simple. If we can build one, maybe we can reverse engineer the one we're in. This discovery has led to unprecedented cooperation between countries that were once bitter rivals. Everyone realizes that the stakes are far bigger than borders or politics. These findings don't just threaten to rewrite science. They challenge everything we believe about life, identity, and the universe itself. And then came the philosophy bomb. Until now, the idea that we might be living in a simulation was a niche thought experiment, something discussed in late-night conversations or theoretical journals. But Project Omega changed that. Suddenly, the question of whether we are real became not just possible, but plausible, even probable. Religious leaders, philosophers, and mental health professionals across the world scrambled to respond. For some faiths, the discovery was validation, proof that higher beings exist, creators with godlike control over our world. They saw the simulation as a divine system with a clear design and purpose. But others were outraged, calling the findings blasphemy, a dangerous lie that reduces humanity to mere code. Philosophers are bitterly divided. Some argue it doesn't matter if we're simulated, because our experiences still feel real. Our pain, love, memories, and relationships are meaningful to us, no matter how they're generated. Others say that if we are just software, nothing has true meaning. Morality, freedom, love, everything collapses if we're just complex programs running in someone else's computer. These debates aren't just academic anymore. They've become emotional, explosive. Several conferences on the subject have been cancelled due to security concerns. The psychological impact on everyday people has been immense. Anxiety, depression, even existential panic are spreading as more and more individuals confront the idea that their entire life might be part of someone else's experiment. Or worse, a temporary process that could be turned off at any time. People are asking questions humanity has never had to seriously consider before. Do we have souls, or are we just advanced code? Is free will real, or are we just executing commands? When we die, do we just stop running, or does something back us up elsewhere? And most haunting of all, if someone created us, do they care if we exist?